Good morning, everyone. It's Joker, and today we are back with another slime video. And today we're going to be going into the Holy Night Battle versus Christmas Violet. Now, this is a fight that we had last year during the Christmas time, and it's an interesting fight. It's not difficult by like HP standards, because if we look at Violet, she only has a million HP. But there are a butt ton of gimmicks going on that makes this fight kind of annoying. First off, you have an RNG set starting hand. So we see that we have a full orange and an incoming green, a full blue with an incoming green. When you start the fight, you are guaranteed one of these hands at random. So if we go into a fight, it could be all oranges across the board. But the next time we load in, it could be the orange and a green or a full blue hand. It really is up to the game. So if you don't like the starting hand, you can just retry the stage and you can try and get a better starting hand. The orange one is probably objectively the worst one. You really probably want to start with the full blue, if anything. So if you don't like the set starting hand that you get, you can just reset and do it again. There are also field effects. At the start of the fight, she lowers the skill point gain on all orbs to 0, essentially. Like, you do not get skill points by sending any amount of orbs, no matter what. But you do start the fight with an extra 270 points. So, along with your starting 30, you start the fight with 300 skill points. Okay, but you're not gonna gain any more for that fight, pretty much. And then Violet herself has a butt ton of gimmicks. She inflicts deadly poison. She seals 80-point skills. She lowers your protection gauge down to 0 at the start of the fight. So it doesn't matter who you start with, you're going to have 0 protection gauge. And then she seals synergy, pierce, and crit. So they want you to use an Aegis team, which there's not a lot of those, so good luck. And then she inflicts poison until the end of the fight, which stacks with the deadly poison right here. She can convert your entire hand to greens. She heals herself and puts more deadly poison, and then she gives herself another ult and reseals everything, and seals your protection gauge, and puts more poison on you. So there are a lot of things that make this Violet very, very dumb to deal with. Most importantly is the 80-point seal and the synergy pierce and crit nerfs. But to offset that, she doesn't have that much HP. So you do need to go into it with an Aegis focused or just a straight nuking team, not relying on any of these, because, you could get away with 1,000,000 damage using none of those. There are a bunch of missions. Clear it with everyone alive, twice, 3 times. Clear it after sending 6 hands of oranges, greens, and blues. And then all physical, all magic, 2 free-to-play characters, and 7 turns or less. So a lot of different missions. You have to do this fight probably a couple of times, most likely, to get this done. But 1,000,000 HP is nothing to really worry about. There's a lot of cheap teams now that can do it, so let's get started. Also, since this is a returning fight, I do have an older video from last year that uses a bunch of teams that you can try. I won't show these teams off in the new video, but I will link this video down below in case none of the teams I show today work for you. Now let's get started. Alright, so starting off, we have the Festive Memories, Diablo, Ninehead, and Frey. And then we've got Dark Millum for the alt buff, the free-to-play Alphen from the Tails collab, because he's also a free-to-play single-target nuker. And then we've got Hinata for the element buff. None of these characters have 80-point skills. Frey does have the Pierce, but we're not going to use that. And Diablo can alt rush us. So, ideally, Alphen and Ninehead can do 1,000,000 damage in a couple of turns, alongside the alt buff, the alt resistance down, and the element buff in here. So let's see how well that actually works. This is the team I used for the first couple of stages, because they're not as hard. They let you pierce and crit and everything, so Ninehead was very efficient. But now, with the dire difficulty, you can't do those 3 buffs, so we're gonna find out how well that goes. So, turn 1, let's see what our starting hand is. If it's the blue, that's great. If it's not, we might reset for it. We got the full orange hand. Okay, well, yeah, details. We do want Diablo, though, so you know what? We're going to come back until we get that starting blue hand. Alright, perfect. The blue hand. But you'll notice we have 300 skill points, and we have no protection gauge. So that's why on the team build screen, I had, Violet and Blanc and Shinsha or something underneath Hinata and Milim and Alphen, because no matter who we use up front, we're not going to have any starting protection gauge. So we might as well just give everyone stat sticks, essentially. So let's bring Ninehead in, and then we'll just send 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're not gaining any points. We are gaining alt gauge, and we are gaining protection gauge. That's important. Violet, only 1,000,000 health. You can see this starting to take a little bits of chinks out of her HP. She's going to ult us. She doesn't hit very hard, though. Yeah. What is going to hurt is the poison damage. So you can see, boom. Like, that's a hefty chunk. If everyone has poison, they're not going to live up front for very long. So we do want to make sure we kill Violet very quickly. We're still going to get the 30 points passively from Diablo or any burst protector, so that is good. But let's go ahead and put the element buff on. And then let's go ahead and bring... Actually, no. Well, no, we can do that. We'll get the ults next turn. So we'll use Diablo, give everyone those ults up front. We're going to make back some points here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to do a little bit extra damage because of the element buff, which I guess is cool. And yeah, a little bit more chunk of health coming off. And then turn 3, we will ult with our 2 free-to-play nuking characters. And if you don't have Alphen, like, you don't have to bring him. He's got his own ult buff, which is going to do... Well, Milim isn't going to do anything for him, but Milim is at least going to buff Ninehead. So, let's reapply that element. Okay, Hinata needs to go, otherwise she's going to die. And there is the seal, actually. So the crit, pierce, and synergy. So I guess we could have done it on turn 2, if we really wanted to. I didn't realize... I thought she nerfed it immediately. But, okay, well... Oh well. Let's see. Let's bring in Milim for her alt buff. Boom. It's gonna help Ninehead, and then we'll bring Frey in. We're not gonna be able to pierce, but we can still frostbite and everything. Actually, let's do Diablo first and give Frey an alt, because that is just a little bit extra damage right there. And then we could use the frostbite, that the 200% alt damage buff for Alphen, and then the attack buff for Ninehead. Not going to get the pierce because it's sealed, but I want to see how much damage this does. And that'll give us a pretty good indication of where we're standing. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Frey, 53,000, not great. Ninehead, 345k. Alphen, 273. Okay, I mean, she's almost dead. We still have a couple of turns left before someone dies from poison. We just need to nuke again, quite honestly. So... Oh, Ninehead's dead. Never mind. Okay, well, you gotta be pretty quick about it then. Funny. Well, I mean, if we kill, it's still gonna work, so let's do that. The frostbite's still there. Alphen, I think, with the buff, should kill. So let's just take Frey out. And then, oh, that costs 80 points. That's right. We can't do that. Not the best team to bring, but hey, it is what it is. Let's do the alt buff again, because that'll help Hinata. So, and she still has the element buff. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hinata, 189, and then Alphen should kill right here. Okay. 4 turns. Yes, Ninehead died. We still beat the stage, so we're going to get that mission with the 2 free-to-play characters done. And this was, not very recent units, quite honestly. We're going to have to come back in again and get the Everyone Alive mission done. But, sure, that works. It, gives us free and easy alts. There are other teams that can clear this easier. And now if we look, we need to do it again with not everyone dying. We already did the full hand of blues, because we started with it, and then the full hand of greens, because we had that. The rainbow orbs should take care of all 3 of those colors, if you wanted to. And then we had all magic characters, so we did that. And we had the 2 free-to-play units. So let's come back and let's build a physical team that can do a 6 combo of orange. God, I wish there was a team that could do that. Alright. Warrior's Mind. We've got free-to-play Xion. That's the only free-to-play character. You don't need to bring her. You can bring someone else if you want. But we've got Gobla. Her Pierce isn't going to mean much unless we do it in turn 2, which we are. And then Violet for control. Blanc, we're not going to be able to use her big-time skill, so that's kind of a detriment. But we also have Benimaru for the physical and ult resistance down buff. And this, ideally, should work. And it will also get us our full hand of orange. We might have to go for a starting hand. That way we could use Blanc to buff it. Let's see what we start here. It's either blues or oranges. Perfect. Okay. So we got that. 306 skill points. There's the 80-point seal. There's the poison. All right, let's put the control stack on now. I guess we could do this. And then the rainbow? That, the buff, the orange buff. So that gives us, yeah, that's nice. And then we'll bring in Benimaru for Violet. And that should get 3 ults here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is there anything else we need to use here? I guess we could do the Pierce now. Yeah, we could do the Pierce now. It'll help us do damage. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Everybody gets an ult. Yeah, that's a decent chunk of change right there coming off. And then we'll have 3 ults that we can nuke. We could use the Pierce again, and we could use the Benimaru buff, and between all 3 of these ults, we should be able to kill. And no one will die to poison here. Is everyone physical, actually? I'm just thinking about that right now. Yes, everyone's physical. Alright, good. Just making sure. Okay. So, Pierce again, physical buff. I don't need to do anything else. Well, actually, let's put the debuffs on first. That way our Pierce is extra strong. And that's up to 19. Let's do Shuna, who's going to put that physical resistance debuff on. And then we could use the Pierce, which is going to be fully capped out now. Okay. And then if you had another cheap buffing character instead of like Xion or something, you could use them as well. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And 473. Goblet should kill. Yeah, 695. Cool. 2 turns. No one is dead. All physical mission done. All orange mission done. And that just leaves the clearing it like 2 more times or something. And that, that gets that mission done as well. So, yeah, it's not overly difficult. And now, yeah, we just need to beat it 2 more times with another burst-ish team. I know of one. Okay. Scourge Wielder. Another orange team, but we can't use the hero and we can't use Lumi's big-time buffs. We can use the AoE and Light Dark and the 200% orb damage buff and the rewind and the physical buff from Omizia. And we've got 2 free-to-play characters in Kigali and Hero, so this is also going to work fairly easily. Now, you don't have to use Warrior's Mind or Scourge Wielder or the new Festive Memories team. Like, if you want to build a team with some older protectors and some characters who maybe don't have 80-point skills, but 60, or starts at 40 and goes up to 60, you could do that. You're not going to be sealed for that. That's a great hand right there, because we want oranges. So we can use Lumi. Boom. Let's see. Let's bring you in, and let's bring the hero in. That way everyone is light and dark. We'll use the light dark buff and the chaos. Yeah, alright. So this will be a very good hand. Again, a full hand of oranges will get that mission done. We have 2 free-to-play characters. Everyone is physical. So we're looking good. Not quite... ooh. Really? Not going to get us a full protector right there. Unfortunate. But we're doing 46k a hit, so we don't really have that much to worry about now, do we? We haven't even put Almizia's buff on. We might get the traits kicking in. 40k for the chaos. Alright, cool. Oh no, we can use synergy. No, we can't, because it's sealed. That's right. Do we get the trait for protection gauge? Oh, we do. Alright, well, you're dead. So let's do that buff again. And let's do chaos again. Did she clear chaos? Does that... Oh, is his chaos buff only a 1-turn thing? No, it's 2 turns. Right? No. I think she cleansed it. Oh, well, whatever. Alright. Elmesia buff. I mean, you're gonna die now. You've got the light dark buff, and then we're gonna have really buffed up oranges. You're super duper dead. I'd be surprised if you survive 1 ult. Oh, wow, you did. Okay, shocking. You might survive all 3 then. But the normal orb will definitely destroy you. And yeah, 115k. Okay, there's another burst team where, you know, half the skills are nerfed, but it doesn't really matter because Violet doesn't have that much health to begin with. Alright, Summer Memories. It is an Aegis team. It has fairly cheap buffs. It's going to play into everything, and we have a full magic run with 2 free-to-play characters, Ifrit and Danmachi Soka. And using Guy, we have Lord's Ambition, which means that we could technically do anything we want with this team, because the 80-point seal is going to go away, the synergy, crit, and pierce nerfs are going to go away, so you could build this team however you wanted. If you don't want to have Ifrit and Soka here and you want big-time buffing characters, you can certainly do that. But we're going to do the Rainbow Convert, which would cover all 3 of the orb color mission. So, I mean, that's cool. And then we're going to take Violet out, and we're going to take Blanc out, and we're going to just use both of their magic buffs right here, just to make Jean hit a little bit harder as we go on. Something I forgot to scroll down far enough to read is that every time Violet ults, she removes status effects. So, Enamor is not going to be here after she ults. Control, that's why the Chaos went away last clip for Scourge Wielder. I didn't realize that. But, alright, we're going to take poison damage here, and we're going to have that seal. However, it doesn't actually mean anything, because we're good. Oh my god, are you kidding me? We have no Jean orbs? That's ridiculous. Okay, is she ulting again? She's not. Okay, we can at least get an Amber then. So let's do you and another rainbow, and let's put the Enamor on now. And then we'll do Guy, who will then rid us of all those pesky little nerfs. So if you want to bring like Diablo or Velzard or the hero for synergy or pierce or whatever, you could certainly do that. And now that we have an Enamor and she's not going to cleanse it, we're going to be okay. We're getting permanent attack stacks from Diablo, or not Diablo, but Guy. We've gotten the 100% buff from Blanc. Poison damage means nothing if you can't hurt us with poison because of Lord's Ambition. And there's the ult for Jean. And I don't really think I need to do anything else here. So let's just buff, and we'll call it a day. We don't even need to use Violet's buff. We don't need Violet at all, actually. Fuck her. So 1, 2, another buff there, and then we'll do 1 more stack of Guy for the attack, and to erase all these stupid things on, so in case we like naturally hit one of those, it's not going to harm us. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ifrit, 168. Blanc, single target, but, you know, support ult, 282, and Jean's gonna do a couple million right here or something. Yeah, 2.1. Cool. Cool. We're never gonna die from poison, at least. We could unseal ourselves from any of the stupid nerfs. Summer Memories team is gonna be pretty efficient. Alright, the last team I have for you is the Dragon Haki meta. It does have Milim on it. Emils is not strong enough by himself to take out Milim, or Violet, which is shocking. You can get 2 stacks of Emils, but not 3, because it costs 80 points at that point. We've got Skill Fuse Space Reamer, who's giving attack and ult resistance down, not by very much, but he's quite old. And for our 2 free-to-play characters, we've got Trishula and Gobta. Milim is going to be the linchpin. We do want an ult with her, preferably, but if we don't get one, we can at least use her other skill. That's going to make her hit pretty hard on her normal orb, and hopefully Emils then is able to kill. But actually, you know what? This hand isn't the end of the world, actually. So let's bring... let's put Milim in there, right there, and let's bring Emils in. We could transform with him immediately. Yeah. And then let's do his first stack and the combo edition skill just for fun. That way we only send Milim and only send a Mills Orbs. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. That gets a Milim ult. That's good. That's actually very, very good. That's probably more important than getting in a Mills EX ult. Because he's AoE. He doesn't have enough damage, which I'm kind of shocked by. I think I said that already. But, alright. We're going to get poisoned here, or we're going to take poison damage. We're going to remove that, because I don't want to deal with that shit. So we've got the Heartscape to remove poison. So boom. Alright, cool. And then when we take Milim out, we're going to get in a Mills Orb, which is great. So let's bring in Trishula for Milim. Perfect. Let's do the combo and the second stack. And that leaves us 95 points. Okay. Should be okay, though. So I guess we could have just sent the entire hand and not worried about it. But let's just go ahead and do Veldora, who's going to give us extra attack, which is just going to help us. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. There's the EX ult. So, now we have an ult for Milim, and we have enough points to do her personal 70-point buff, because it's not going to be sealed. Her other skill is sealed, unfortunately. So, let's find out if we can make it work. We do have 182 points, so we can bring Milim in for Trishula, and we could bring Space Rimuru in for Gobta, and use his buff as well. So, Milim Eye, or Dragon Eye, whatever it's called. I keep calling it Milim Eye from the show. Okay. We're looking good here. This should be able to kill. I have confidence. I think Milim could do it probably by herself, but we'll have a Mills as backup. Milim can do it. All right, cool. And then if your Milim isn't strong enough, if you don't have Milim, you're gonna need to find someone who can do decent damage. Another single target DPS to help a Mills, because you're not going to get it with just a Mills. So just keep that in mind. If you want to bring like Tempest Elite Benimaru as a physical buffer to help a Mills, but also be a single target, that works. Tempest Elite Rimuru with his burning and alt buff, like that could work. You're gonna need another DPS though, if you're gonna run like at least this style of team, because you can't use Velzard and Rimuru because they have 90-point skills. So there we go. There are 5 teams you can use to clear this Holy Knight battle. If you have any others that you found to work, please put it down below. As a reminder, I have videos linked in the description from last year that I cleared this fight. It has not changed, I don't think, so those teams should still be viable as well. But that's it for me, guys. Take it easy, and I'll see you all later.